Do you know sign language?
I learned some this
don't.
weekend.
Oh, teach the people what you learned.
Okay,
Oh,
so
you ready? Tell them what we
real
learned.
quick before we get to the guests, man, we were just shout out to Soul Joe's.
Shout out to
Derek
Soul
and
Joe.
I, we were just at Soul Joe's in Pottstown, Pennsylvania this past weekend.
Very silly
Thank
show.
you to the people that came out.
Very silly
One
show.
of the most interesting experiences I've ever had in comedy. But in our green room was flooded with people when we got there, right?
Yeah, I didn't
situation.
appreciate that.
One of these women introduces herself. She goes, "Hey, I'm whatever her name is. I'm your sign language interpreter for the show." And you go
We was
like,
what?
"Oh, okay, all right." You know. So come to find out,
We have
some
deaf
people
fans.
bought tickets that were deaf. Deaf. Is it D-E-F or
D-E-A-F.
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 That's the only time that's acceptable. They was deaf, bro. D-E-A-F.
Yeah.
And you're required by law in the state of Pennsylvania, if someone buys tickets and says
You
they're
got it.
deaf or hearing impaired, you need to provide a sign
interpreter.
language interpreter. And these women showed up ready to sign. Now, they almost didn't work because the deaf people ended up being black.
Oh, shit.
And they
They
showed up at least 20
Deaf people show up even
minutes
later.
into the show.
Deaf people show up even
like
later.
The opening comic, had already performed, left, brought me up. I was into my set when all of a sudden a group of people were let in and they had to set up a light and a chair for the sign language people to do sign language
Yeah.
for these three people.
Yeah.
And this poor girl. This poor girl.
Oh, yeah.
If you've never seen Derek's set, Derek's set is littered with the N-word.
Oh, yeah. It's sprinkled everywhere. Like scallions on fancy scrambled eggs. Like this little poor white woman had to keep telling with the sign language for niggas.
Apparently, was the sign language the
It's
sign?
this. It's
It was like this, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it was like, so the way you say in sign language is,
This bitch was poking her nose all goddamn night. All goddamn night. Looked like she was swatting gnats away from her face. Like she was doing this shit. Beep, beep, beep.
this poor girl had to say all night to these three black deaf people.
And I never had so much fun in my life. I did it more. Like I doubled my that night because I was like, this insane. I was like, just to be, I'm going hard.
Oh, man.
Oh, so great.
This episode of No Need for Apologies was performed in front of a studio full of people that were half listening while they were working on something else.